A little while back, I was on a treadmill, not having some great workout, just kind of grinding through it. And I was rereading a book called The War of Art by Pressfield. And something just broke open. I realized that in that moment, I wasn't procrastinating. I wasn't busy. I wasn't waiting for the right time or the right setup or the right version of myself to show up. I was afraid. And I'd been afraid for years. My name is Josh Stamper. I write books as J.E. Stamper. And this video is about starting over, about what it actually feels like to be stuck, and why if you're watching this, you might already know exactly what I'm talking about. So let me tell you about some of the reasons I didn't start this channel. I needed a haircut. Seriously, I put this off for weeks because I needed a haircut. And then I got the haircut, and then I decided I needed to get a chipped tooth fixed before I filmed anything. Because obviously the internet was going to notice my tooth. And then it was the gear. I didn't have the right camera. The lighting wasn't good enough. My setup wasn't professional enough. I'd watched other YouTubers and think, I can't put something out there that looks like this compared to that. And this one is almost too embarrassing to say, I was worried that people would notice I wasn't wearing a wedding ring anymore. And that somehow through a camera, strangers on the internet would look at my hand, do the math, and judge me. But I was afraid people I'd never met. I was afraid what they would think of my personal life. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not laughing at myself for any of this, because here's the thing about excuses. They're never really what they're about. The tooth wasn't about the tooth. The ring wasn't about the ring. The gear wasn't about the gear. Every single one of those excuses had the same thing hiding behind it: fear. And the really sneaky thing about fear is that it doesn't show up and announce itself. It doesn't say, hey, I'm fear and I'm here to stop you. It shows up as a haircut. It shows up as a chipped tooth. It shows up as, I just need a little more time to get ready. Fear is the most creative storyteller you'll ever meet. And every story it tells you sounds completely reasonable. But here's where I have to be honest with you. And honestly, being honest is still something I'm learning how to do. For a long time, I was a school principal. And if you've never been a school principal, let me just tell you, it's one of those jobs that becomes your whole identity. You're on all the time. You're responsible for everything. You're the face of the building, the decision maker, the one who everyone looks to when things go wrong. And in that role, I learned to say one thing better than almost anything else: I'm fine. It didn't matter how I was actually doing. It didn't matter that I was so stressed I was literally falling asleep at the wheel on my drive home. Didn't matter what was falling apart behind the scenes. The answer was always, I'm fine. Because I had employees who needed me to be okay. I had a building full of kids who needed stability. I had people depending on me. And I told myself that keeping my struggles to myself was just a part of the job. But that's not strength. I know that now. That's just a really convincing mask. And when I eventually stepped away from the job, which was both the biggest relief and one of the hardest things I've ever done, I lost something that I hadn't expected to lose. I lost the answer to the question, who are you? Because for so long, the answer was, I'm the principal. And without that, I didn't really know. I felt embarrassed, honestly. I'd had this high-profile job, this identity that people respected, and I walked away from it to become what exactly? An entrepreneur, a writer, a YouTuber who keeps putting it off because of a chipped tooth? I felt like I was letting people down. I felt like no one would take me seriously anymore. And that feeling, that fear of not being taken seriously, is a big part of why it took me so long to start. Because what if I put myself out there and people looked at me and thought, who does he think he is? But here's what I didn't expect about starting over. I didn't expect to find myself again. I know that sounds like something you put on a coffee mug, but bear with me. Because when you spend years being on all the time, years of performing okayness, years of shrinking yourself to fit a role or to meet an expectation, you forget what it felt like to be just you, the real you, not the version of you that shows up for everyone else, but the one that exists when no one's watching and no one needs anything from you. I had forgotten that person a little bit, and now I'm just starting to remember him. I'm rediscovering creativity, which honestly might be the thing that saved me. Writing, storytelling, this channel, making things just because I want to make them, not because a job description says I should. And I'm rediscovering adventure, getting outside, hiking, exploring, doing things that have nothing to do with being productive and everything to do with being alive. And I'm rediscovering relationships, people I love who I hadn't shown up for the way I wanted to. My brother said something to me recently that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. He said, "Josh, it's good to feel like I have a brother again." And that one hit me really hard because I didn't realize how much of myself I had given away, how much I had quietly disappeared while technically still being present. And I want to be clear, I'm not standing here telling you that I've got it all figured out. I haven't. This is not a comeback story with a neat ending. This is just the beginning of something, a new chapter, maybe even a new person. And actually, that's exactly what it feels like. Not like I'm rebuilding the old version of myself, like someone entirely new is being born. Someone who's a little more honest, a little more himself, a little less afraid of what people think. And honestly, that person feels a lot more like the me than one I was performing for years. So there I was on the treadmill, Pressfield in my ears, telling me that resistance, that's what he calls it, with a capital R, is the force that exists specifically to keep you from doing the work you're meant to do. That I will use every tool available to stop you. Fear, doubt, distraction, procrastination, a chipped tooth. And I've also been spending time with Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, which if you haven't read it, stop what you're doing after this video and read it. And something about reading both of those at the same time just cracked something open in me. And then I heard something. I honestly can't remember where, but someone said 3 words that kind of changed everything for me. Begin, not prepare. Not get ready and then begin, not begin when the time is right, not begin when you have the gear and the haircut and the tooth fixed and the ring situation sorted out, just begin. And I remember stepping off that treadmill and thinking, what am I actually waiting for? What is the perfect version of ready that I keep chasing? Because I've been chasing it for years and it keeps moving. It'll always keep moving. That's the whole trick. Ready is a myth. It's the most believable myth there is, but it's still a myth. The work doesn't start when you're ready. The work starts when you decide that waiting is no longer an option. So I decided, and here I am. So if you've made it this far, I want to talk to you for a second. Not to everyone, but directly to you. Maybe you're a teacher who's been showing up every day and telling yourself, I'm fine, when you're actually running on empty. Maybe you're someone who's had a plan for your life that quietly fell apart, and now you're not sure who you are without it. Maybe you've got a book you're meaning to write, a channel you've been meaning to start, a business you're wanted to begin, or a version of yourself you've been meaning to become, and every time you get close, something comes up. The timing's not right. You're not ready. You need a little more time to prepare. I see you. Not because I have it figured out, but I am you in a lot of ways. I'm still figuring it out. Some days I'm still putting on the mask of I'm okay and I'm fine when I'm not quite there yet. But I'm learning slowly that honesty is braver than okayness, that beginning is braver than preparing, that showing up as the real, unfinished version of yourself is braver than waiting till you're perfect. You're not behind, you're not late, and you're definitely not alone. And whatever it is you've been putting off, whatever dream project or version of yourself that's been sitting on the shelf waiting for that right moment, I just want you to know that the treadmill moment is available to you too. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to begin. Now this channel finally exists because I started. And the books that began all of this for me, my Ugly Me series, those exist because I finally started those too. Because one day after years of telling myself I wasn't ready to be a writer, I sat down and I wrote something honest. Something that came from a real place, something I was genuinely afraid to put into the world. Those books are about childhood trauma, about the kids who are carrying things nobody can see, about empathy and healing, and the adults who can make a difference by simply choosing to understand. Writing them was my first act of beginning before I was ready. This channel is my second. I don't know what yours is, but I hope this helped you get a little closer to it. If it did, subscribe, share this with someone who needs it, and leave a comment below. Tell me what you've been putting off. Tell me what your chipped tooth is. I genuinely want to know. I'm J.E. Stamper, and I'll see you in the next one.